you got to plan. You got to plan everything. In fact, when I got into the corporate world, I was the director of planning and analysis for almost 3 decades. And so planning was my life. Here's what I know. Plans never worked. I don't care how many plans we did a year in the business world, they never worked. And so why is it that plans don't work? Because things are always changing. Things are constantly changing. You cannot make a plan in a stagnant view of life and think that that plan's going to work, because the life's not going to remain stagnant. Every moment, every second of every day, there's change. And as long as there's change in any moment, a plan is fruitless. So what's the best way to live? For me, it's really starting to learn how to listen to your heart. What does your heart desire you to become? What does your heart desire you to experience? And then if you listen to that, you'll find out that you will be guided one step at a time, one thought at a time, one feeling at a time. Think about, how does it guide you one feeling at a time? Well, if you're on the path of the heart, you will feel good. You will feel juiced. If you're off the path of the heart, you're not going to feel good. You're going to be bored. There's not going to be any juice in you, no life in you whatsoever. And do you notice how today, if you walk outside, you go to a supermarket, go to any store, go to a mall, go to any type of event, you're going to see a lot of walking zombies. That's because life is not meeting their expectations. And the only way to change that is to start changing your expectations by, what does your heart want? And start listening one step at a time. You see, if you're listening at one step at a time, one thought at a time, one feeling at a time, one action at a time, you're not going to be disappointed. Because the only thing you have to do is that next thing. You just have to follow your heart. And I know you say, Lee, what is that heart thing? The best I can do is tell you is that once I understood the hierarchy of my values, what I valued most in life, what I wanted most in life that juiced me, I could ask my heart, how can I have that? How can I live that more? Here's the key. Most people don't know what the hierarchy of their values are. They don't know their number one value, the thing they want most in life. They don't know their 2, 3, 4, or 5. Let me share with you that this Saturday, if you want to learn that, you can join me for my values determination process. To find out information on that, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Click on the calendar or the events page, and you'll find information on it. Single best thing I do. It's going to be a small, intimate group of people. You can do it from anywhere in the world because it's on Zoom, and I'll guide you to that. But as a person who was brought up to be very rational, it took me time to be able to listen to my heart. It took me time to listen to my heart. Peter, it's going to be at 10 o'clock my time, or 2 hours from now your time. But it'll be on Saturday. Anyway, heart listening. We've been taught to shut the heart down. Everyone around you will give you advice, and their advice will be from their heads. It'll come from their perspective, not yours. Do you get that? Here's one of the best lines I've gotten recently. How can we say that we truly are self-loving, that we love ourselves, when we value the opinions of others more than our own? Really let that sink in. Contemplate that idea. Do you value the opinions of others more than your own? Your mom, your dad's, your spouse, your partners, your children's, your priest, your minister? Do you value them more than your own? If you do, got to work on that self-love, don't we? Got to work on that self-love, because the number one thing in life, that the only place you have to seek approval is from yourself. Here's the key thing. The only way you can judge yourself is if you set an unrealistic expectation. That's when you judge yourself. But if your expectation's real, if it's heart-centered, there'll be no judgment, because you're going to be living out of a state of love. What better way to live than out of a state of love? Peter, just a handful right now. I've been asking questions. This is the best way I know to ask questions. Right before I go to sleep at night, I ask questions, because my conscious mind is at its not as strong as during the day. So the question goes into my subconscious mind, where all true answers come from. And the question I ask is, what does it look like to be a minister today? And the best I've got is, what it looks like to be a minister today is what you're looking at right now. To be on the web, to tap into people all over the world, to give people a place to come and get information, to give people places to come to share. That's what we did yesterday at the Agape gatherings. People came from all over the world, 2 different gatherings, and we talked, we shared, we explored together. People think you cannot use the internet to have an intimate connection. You can. It has to be the intent. And all of these things that I'm doing, my meditations every morning, these thoughts that can change your lives, that are on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you name the platform, it's on it. It all came to me by asking a question of a subconscious mind and then listening. Now, the answer may just not come to me through my mind, may have come through another person. But because I'd asked the question, I was open to hear the answer. But if you're not asking the question, the answer to that which you are seeking may be right there in front of you, but you're not aware enough, you're not open enough to even receive the answer. We get so busy in our mind that we stop listening. And all we do is talk. And you know what? Let me tell you the worst type of talk. There's 3 types of talk that I really think are worry. You know that self-talk that you have with yourself when you're worrying about everything? And then you share that worry with others? What you're doing is the worry becomes a prayer, and you attract more of that. The second worst type of thought that you can have is that thought of complaining about your life or about others. You can attract more of what you're complaining about. The third worst thoughts you can have are gossip thoughts, speaking down about people. Why? Do you realize that 90% of all thoughts that people have are complaining and gossiping? Do you realize of the 60,000+ thoughts you're going to have today, almost every single one will be a repetition of yesterday? I'm so grateful you're listening to me, because maybe I'm giving you some thoughts that are different than you've had before. I know by me getting in front of you every day, I am forced to think. I'm forced to think, what am I going to talk about with these beautiful souls? What am I going to share? What am I going to explore? Because as I talk to you, I'm really talking to me. I'm exploring life through the art of conversation with you. I'm affirming in my subconscious mind that which is important to me. And how do I go about getting it? You see, one of the things I've learned is the greatest way to get anything, to experience anything, is to share it or to teach it. People think I'm giving of myself and how generous of me. What I'm really doing in talking to you is I'm giving to myself. Number one, I learn by speaking. I learn through teaching. And I love to teach. So why wouldn't I do that? I love to talk. You can tell that. But here's the thing. I used to be into small talk. Now I'm not. I just as soon not have any conversation at all if it's, how's the weather? Who the frig cares? It's out there. You don't have to talk about it. Just experience it. So much of the time we talk, instead of being present and experience. You're here for the experience. You're not here for the verbal masturbation. Because that's what it is. When you're complaining and gossiping, that's verbal masturbation. I don't know how else to say that. That's what I got for you today. Open your heart, ask questions, listen to your heart. It'll guide you one thought, one word, one feeling, and one action at a time. With that, make this your best day ever. Only you can. And know that I love you. I'll support you as all that I can on this journey. Until tomorrow, aloha.